Is it okay if I get on the PC for a couple minutes? Because I can't reset my password on the Chromebook because Pinterest.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. It's fine, Mama.
Hey, it's Richard Betancourt. It's Francis. Thanks so much, Richard. I appreciate that. We're just testing out a few things here before 9 o'clock. I've been having been struggling with my streaming software a little bit, and we're trying to... No, I don't want to hear that. Turn that down. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but I downloaded an update to my streaming software 2 days before I was going to use it to stream something, and they changed something that I don't know. They added some new bitrate options or something like that, and I've been having some trouble. The behavior's been a little bit unstable since then, so it's been kind of stressing me out a little bit. There's Nadia. Hello, Nadia. Good to see you this evening. I hope you're well. I started things up here a little bit early so I could get a sense about how things are going to go with our connectivity and our speeds tonight. So those of you who are in the stream early, please do let me know in the chat if you see or hear any connection problems on your end tonight. I think the kind of issues I've been having would probably show up on your end more as if there's any sort of lag or any sort of freezing in the video or anything like that, just let me know. I'm not sure how much I can do about it, but I'm just trying to monitor the behavior of this thing after the last update. I should know better than to update software right before I'm going to use it for something. But apparently, I'm not that bright all the time. Test, 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 test. And testing the mute. One moment. All right. That's promising, I suppose. We've got the weather has really turned recently in the Midwest part of the United States, so you may hear some wind. It's turned very windy and cold today. Hey, there's Teresa57. The Devil Wears Prada. I remember that movie. But no, the weather's turned. So depending on how sensitive the Yeti is this evening, you might actually hear some blowing of the wind outside. And unlike in the fall or sometimes when you'll get a really strong warm wind that just kind of fills you with the how do I want to say it, the awe that you get sometimes when you're just really being pushed around by Mother Nature. This wind is decidedly more bitter and a lot less friendly. And when it's below freezing outside and you get the wind picking up like it is, it just cuts right through you. It's a very unfriendly gesture. And that's what we've got going on outside right now. We also have, I will point out, and hopefully it won't be much more of an issue than ambiance, but we do have other people moving around in other areas of the house this evening. So you may be able to hear a little bit of hubbub in the background. There's Looka Troopa. Hello, Looka Troopa. Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm just kind of starting up the stream a little early. Actually, it's not early, is it? It is now past 9, so I guess we're on for real now. We're just kind of musing about some things, kind of buying time while I'm watching silly technical numbers and displays and details in the background to see if this streaming software is going to let me down tonight or not. Looks like it's holding on so far. Been having crazy behavior out of it lately. Well, it has been way too long since I've done one of these. 3 in the morning where Looka Troopa is. My goodness. Well, I very much appreciate you stopping by, but I also hope you get the right amount of sleep for whatever you have coming up tomorrow. So, good to see you. Thanks for being here, but I totally understand if you have to get going at some time. But I looked it up from the archive file, and I haven't done this since August 30th, which is way too long, particularly as enjoyable as they always end up being. So I'm very eager to catch up with those of you who are dropping by. I hope you'll stay a while, and I hope you will spend some time in the chat. Please do make yourself at home. Talk to everyone else in the chat. These small gatherings always end up being a great just chill kind of a hangout session with everybody kind of interacting with each other. One of the advantages of being a smaller channel with smaller streams is that, you have the room and the speed in the stream to engage with folks. Oh, it's Super Eagle 1. Wish I could stick around. Frowny face. Good to see you, Super Eagle 1. I hope you're doing well. I wish you could stick around too. And JSP, talking about the yearbook video, you are very welcome, of course. Thanks for being here that night when we were batting around the idea. It didn't come out too bad at all. I don't think. I was pretty happy with that one. So yeah, please make yourself at home. We've got several things to kind of consider and listen to tonight. One of them is a request. Oh, also, I just wanted to note that we'll probably I think I'm shooting for about an hour and a half tonight. So we'll try to wrap up around 10:30 Eastern Time. Luka-Trupa is working on a character for a D&D campaign. I showed my long... One moment, everybody.
I'm sorry.
What is up?
I've decided I'm not going to do anything in there, so you can be as loud as you want, and I can open up these doors so that you can get heat in here.
I'd rather not. I don't need to be loud. I'm going to be quiet.
Do you want these doors open, though, to get the heat?
No, I don't want any heat. We want to be cool and chill. Check, 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 check. I don't think I know anybody around here, at least in the circles that I run in, that are active D&D players right now. I did a few games in my early college years, but unfortunately, I don't know, it just didn't stick. But I bring it up because I still have some old D&D character creation sheets from long time ago, and some of them still have some character creation information on them, and I ran into them I don't know, a few months ago and showed them to my son, and he got a big kick out of some of the stuff that I had written on those old sheets. It's also weird to see your own handwriting from like decades ago, and maybe some of you, your handwriting stays the same like for years and years, but mine doesn't, and it was really weird to see writing from person, right? Hey, Slipshod, good to see you. 2 a.m. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that whole time zone thing. But I guess it's better than starting at 10 or 11 over here, I suppose. And Supernova, I was waiting for you to show up because I didn't want to go through some of our sound exploration items until I knew you were in the room because of your request. I do most D&D stuff, Luka-Trupa says, over the internet nowadays, but I found a group of local new players who were recruiting. So if the local people you found are the new players, does that mean you're the veteran, and does that mean you're DMing? Luka-Trupa? A Kenku bard who only vocalized by mimicking sounds. That's awesome. That is awesome. So let me know the answer to that question, Luka-Trupa, while I start talking about some of the items we'll be looking at while we're chatting about life. Luka-Trupa says, "Oh no, I'm not DMing, but I have comparatively a veteran." So when you say "oh no," does that mean you don't care for the DM role? You'd rather be out in the campaign? Do you have a strong opinion on that, or do you much prefer one role over the other. I know it's a very specific skill set to DM well, and I don't know that from personal experience, but I've seen enough stuff on the internet to know that the right DM with the right set of narrative skills is a real blessing and can really make or break a campaign, I think. Super Eagle 1. Well, we're sorry to see you go, and but I do, now that I'm kind of back on the backside of some events over the last few months, I am going to try to be a little more regular about these streams. If not the scheduled streams, I at least want to do the impromptu kind of surprise streams a little bit more often. So Look at Trupa says, I like DMing as well as playing really, but I've been on the DM end of things. So you're looking for a break in the DM action and trying to get back into the campaign. Totally understand. And for the new people in the room, I mentioned earlier that I've been having some weird behavior with my streaming software. So if you see or hear anything amiss, please let me know in the chat, okay? Thanks. But anyway, so I've got all 9 silver dollars from the recent coins and engravers video. Because like I mentioned in that video, I really like the sound of old silver. See a Super Eagle 1? And out of all of the coins in that video, I like the sound of the dollars best, and that's probably because of their size. Now I've got all 9 of them here, but I don't really need all 9. I just wanted to show you that we've got them here. And I'll put all but 4 of them away, and we'll be able to... We're also really going to be putting the Yeti, to the test a little bit on subtle sounds. So we'll be able to take a listen to those. You'll remember the peace dollar that we talked about in the video. And of course, the Morgan dollar. So we've got those tonight. Supernova had a request, a pocket watch request. So we've got one of those this evening as well. This is not one of the watches that I've shown in a video before, but it is one that back in the days when I was collecting a little more actively and when I would occasionally wear a watch with blue jeans, this is the one I would wear. So we've got that this evening. And when I got that pocket watch out of the box, I was reminded that one of the things that's in that same box are the keys from the old keys video. And these haven't seen the light of day recently, So I thought it would be good to get those guys out. So we have those. Now, all of those items are very metallic, of course. So I was looking for something at the end to give us a little bit different of a trigger, but also something to maybe that would allow us to preview the next video a little bit. So here's an interesting collection of things. We've got this very thin-walled glass bowl with Christmas graphics on the outside, and it's filled with plastic army men. You can see the little army men guys. These aren't just any army men. These are the army men I had when I was a kid. And when my son was of the right age, we went through a phase where, we were playing with these as well. But the next video is going to be a very simple rummaging sorting video where I sort through this big box of my old army men and talk a bit about me and my brother. Back in the days when we were growing up, and how we would play together with these things. Looking to get back to I haven't done a video with a decidedly nostalgic bent to it in a little while, so I wanted to get back to something like that. Look at Troopa talking about the dissonance between the bowl, the graphics, and the contents. Yeah, understood. I also hope in the interest of catching up and getting everybody on the same page with each other, I hope you'll all share, how your late fall and early winter has been going. If you have anything going on at work or life, big things that you want to share. I have not seen Band of Brothers. I actually don't have HBO, but I would hope that's out on Netflix or something like that these days. I can imagine it always struck me as one of those hyper-realistic shows along the lines of, well, maybe I shouldn't have said the phrase hyper-realistic, but more graphical portrayal of things along the lines of Saving Private Ryan, which I did see, but that's been quite a while. I always imagined Band of Brothers was somewhat in the same vein. But since Supernova made the request, let's not have him wait any longer. We can explore this watch a little bit while we are chatting. Look at Troopa's autumn has been all right. Turned him into a bit of a shut-in as usual, but the scenery is nice. Because of the temperature, I assume. Autumn is my favorite season, hands down, for sure. But, yes, it never... I don't know what it is about autumn, but I mean, the year is divided into 4 seasons equally, but for some reason, I always feel like I get ripped off a little bit by autumn, because it's my favorite season, but it never seems as long as all of the other seasons. When you get into a really hot, kind of miserable summer, the season seems to go on forever, right? And when you get into a really bad winter, you can just never seem to get out of it. But you get into a beautiful fall with great color and perfect air temperature, and just the whole thing is just perfect, right? And sometimes it feels like you get a couple or 3 weekends of that, and boom, the air temperature changes, winter's there, right? And I've waited all year through all of these other seasons that I don't care about, and we finally get to fall, and I get out once or twice, and boom, it's gone. Yeah, I always feel a bit ripped off by, maybe that's partly poetic, and maybe that keeps me appreciating the season the way I do, because it never sticks around for very long, so that I don't get too used to it. Maybe that's it. Supernova grew up in New York, lives in California now for the last year or so. Miss having a real autumn and winter. Yeah, I had someone else talk to me recently about who used to live in the Midwest and has moved out to the Seattle area, and was commenting that she really missed having falls that actually, look like fall. Perfect air temperature for about 2 days on November 20th. I can't complain about my 3 weekends. Supernova, I appreciate you keeping me in check, because the last thing we need is a whiny YouTube creator complaining about his ample 3 weekends of good fall weather. That's your point is well taken, sir. I appreciate that. So, Supernova, since you requested the pocket watch, if there is something in particular you want to see or hear, please let me know. I've just taken this out of the box where I keep these things in, and I have not wound it yet. So we'll certainly wind it and try to see if the Yeti can pick up the sounds of this thing. But I have the watch, and I have this chain. Now, this chain is very typical of what you would use to wear a watch like this with jeans. So you can see it's got a small clasp on the watch end, and then the bigger clasp on this end, and that is the guy that would go over the belt loop. And the watch, of course, would go into the watch pocket that, for some reason, they still include in blue jeans today. Which is interesting, right? Nobody uses the watch pocket for watches anymore, but they still make jeans with a watch pocket. I always got a kick, a very retro kind of a kick out of actually using a blue jean watch pocket for a pocket watch. It was just a neat thing to have on your person and a neat thing to tell time with. It definitely got some attention and started a few conversations. Blue, each time you call it just Yeti, I misinterpret it for a split second, as if there's a Yeti somewhere in the room. Yes, it's the pet Yeti. So anyway, what can I tell you about this guy, per Supernova's request? Now, I haven't shown this one in any video yet. This is, or would have been back in the day, a very this would have been a very middle of the road, economical timepiece. When we talked about the bigger watches in the videos, we talked about jewel count, right? And some of the watches I was showing have, jewels up into the teens in the various movements. This movement has 11 jewels, so they would have made a 7 and a 9, and then this is an 11. So this would have been a very middle of the road, affordable piece. The reason this particular watch makes a good wearing watch in blue jeans is because of its size. Now, I've shown 4 old pocket watches on videos before, and they were all the same size, and they were all pretty big. Hey Nadia, I'm so sorry you've got the flu. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope you feel better very, very soon, okay? I always appreciate your comments and your likes on Twitter, so I will see you there again, I'm sure. Get to feeling better, okay? Now those watches that we saw before they're all very big, relatively speaking, and the sizing scheme on those watches goes by numbers, and the size that we looked at before are all called 18 size watches. And as the numbers go down, the size goes down. So this one this movement is called a 16 size watch, and it, in my view, is a perfect size for the blue jean pocket. So between its size and the fact that it's just a run-of-the-mill kind of middle-of-the-road watch made it a perfect candidate for when I was in the mood to pair one with jeans. This watch was made in 1916, and it keeps, for a 24-hour period in between windings, it keeps perfectly serviceable time. The other thing you might notice, well, maybe not. I don't know what the color grading is like off of the phone, but this watch chain is actually silver. I have a gold one as well, but I snagged it once when I was walking by something, and I snagged it, and it pulled this ring off. So the gold one is out of commission right now. Hey Francis, you mentioned it was made in Wisconsin. No, this guy, like all of the watches I have, was made by the Illinois Watch Company. So it was made in a town called Springfield, Illinois. Boy, the wind is really blowing outside. I don't know if you can hear it or not. So we're going to put this Yeti, this one right here, to the test and open this thing up and wind it a little bit and see if we can pick up the sound of the movement. Hey, Tyler Smith, I recognize your name. You've been here before. Thank you so much for stopping in again. I hope you can hang out for a while. Please chat it up. We're trying to get people going with some back and forth in the chat. Okay, so let's put a few winds on this movement and see what it does for us, okay? Let's see if we can hear this. And then I like to do just a little turn like that. All right, it is ticking. Now let's see. Let's see if we can do this. And I'm not actually monitoring this right now, so Supernova, if you're wearing headphones or earbuds, you'll have to let me know if you can hear this, okay? I don't want to touch the mic, so I'm holding it very close. I hope this is coming through. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Supernova. Tyler Smith wishes he lived in a more wooded area, Phoenix. I understand what I think of stereotypically about what the terrain around Phoenix might actually be, but I've been to Tucson for business before, but I've never been to Phoenix. Is there really nothing, no parks or anything around there that you can get to that have some woods, Tyler Smith? Jay Stairs ASMR. Hey, thanks for being here. I'm a little embarrassed to say that I don't believe I have heard of your channel before. Of course, every time I get on YouTube, I run into channels I've never heard of before, but I'll definitely check out your channel, Jay, when I get done here tonight. Thanks for being here. Hey, LK. Yeah, Supernova asked for me to include a watch in the stream tonight, so we're looking at this old 1916 that I used to wear with blue jeans years ago. I gotta say, the sound of a mechanical watch clicking away, being driven by a mainspring, when you put that thing right up into your ear so you can really hear it well, it's just one of those sounds that I just feel like I'm listening to another time. It's for me and my imagination, it's just so transportive. It's like strapping into a time machine. If I close my eyes and just listen to that click, and when you really get it close, you can hear the metal. It's not just a click or a tick. All that metal, all that delicate machinery interacting with each other. And that amount of engineering that you had to put together just to be able to tell time in your pocket. And to think of how easy that is these days, I guess, and how it's available everywhere with much greater accuracy. But something about this, I don't know, puts me in a different place. Supernova, I appreciate the comment about the pond video. You want more of that in the future. Well, I've mentioned in the past that I want to get outside more, and the main thing keeping me from doing more outside is that I hate the look of my handheld video. I really need a stabilizer for the phone. And I've got my fingers crossed with the Christmas season coming up that maybe something can be done there. So we'll have to see about that. Tyler says you have to go up north to like Flagstaff to find any forest. Well, that's too bad. Bonsai Buddy. No, I apologize, Bonsai Buddy. I don't think I've heard of you. Jay Stairs is new. So your channel is new, Jay? I'd love to hear a little bit about the early part of your ASMR channel journey and what's your inspiration for starting a channel? Yeah, Luca Trupa has. I think you're exactly right. The whole notion of listening to time, the very abstract concept of time made very tangible, very visceral, right? By the very mechanical translation. Yeah, you've got it. You got it exactly right. Yeah, Supernova. I was going to open this up here in a minute. I'm using the FaceTime fixed focus camera on the phone, and not the much better one. So we won't be able to get a super close up that'll be in focus, but we'll do what we can. Tyler Smith wants more map videos. I apologize. I keep bumping this Yeti. He doesn't like it very much. Tyler, I just did the third map video. I don't know what else I can say about maps. I think I'm all mapped out. Just kidding. Bonsai Buddy, am I related to relaxing ASMR? I am, well, I don't know who he is, so I might be related to him. I guess I don't know, do I? It would be, you got me thinking about that now. Would that not be hilarious if we somehow found out that we were related in real life? That would be a riot. I keep hearing people tell me they, that I sound like him, which is a cool comparison, because he's definitely one of my favorites, and I definitely appreciate his style and his content. He's one of the first creators I listen to, and he's very he and ASMR vids started 6 years ago or whatever, at a time when the community was a lot smaller, and they've been able to build up nice channels for themselves doing this kind of no-face, object-oriented content, and I think that's great. Tyler Smith wishes he could slow down time. Don't want this night to end, parents getting older, etc. Yeah, I don't think I'll get into it tonight, but yeah, I got the whole parents getting older thing. I got some of that going on right now that well, that's another topic. Hey, look, the insensitive hate monger is in the chat room. You got to watch out for this guy, first of all. Why? Because he's an insensitive hate monger, and don't let anybody tell you different. You heard it here first. Hey, man. One of my new subs, and has already been very it's already been contributing in the comments, which I appreciate, so thanks for being here, man. Oh, I don't want to... Okay, so I'm starting to take the back off of this watch, but I don't want to skip this sound. The sound of the case back coming off of a watch is one of my all-time favorite sounds. It's like... if you like lid sounds, you can think of this as a very wide, shallow lid, and it's just one of the best sounds. So check this out. Let's see if we can really hear this. Rowan Turner, by the way, said congrats on the 2K. Thank you very much, Rowan. I didn't want to miss your comment, and I noticed it's at the very top of the chat window, so I almost missed it. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for being here, Rowan. That's just an awesome sound. I love it. Francis wants 10 hours of the ticking sound. And Supernova wants me to make it a bonus video. Well, okay. I do love that ticking. Laney Lane says hi. Hello, Laney Lane. Jay Stairs talks about origami ASMR videos. Wanted more of a platform to show different aspects, meditation, darker, mysterious role plays, and ramblings. Since I'm embarrassed to say that I haven't been to your channel yet, Jay, how long have you been doing it? And do you have enough early information to be able to tell whether one particular aspect of all of those facets are more popular, or that people are responding to them a little bit more than others? it's always interesting to me, especially with the small channels, what types of videos seem to go over the best. And I totally get that a lot of that is creator dependent, because with the small channels in particular, I think people are drawn to the creator as much as the content. If the channel is such that the creator is able to kind of get some of their personality across, it's harder to do with pure trigger videos, but I think you know what I'm saying. The sound is amazing, Rowan says. I would pay to get the back of that pocket watch made into a video. And I think, so like I said, this is a 16 size watch. The back of an 18 size case, even has a little different of a sound to it. Just like those silver dollars have a different sound than the quarters or the nickels. Maybe that would be an interesting theme for a stream sometime, is just pocket watch case backs. Yeah, that would be the ultimate bad ASMR prank, supernova, if you had that 10 hours of ticking and then a huge bomb going off. That'd be bad. I appreciate that comment, hate monger, although I will tell you, your comment about anyone can do pure triggers, back when I first kind of really put a mental map together about what I wanted to do on this channel, I always wanted about 20% of the content to be straight up trigger videos, because a lot of the videos I watch for my own enjoyment are straight up trigger videos, and I will tell you that they are hard. It is hard. It's the 20% that I do here. They're the hardest things I think to do well. I think anyone can try to do a good trigger video, but they are hard. There's something very abstract about them, that something very non-tangible that kind of has to be right for them to really hit well as a good trigger video. And it's I don't know, it's hard. So anyway, off comes the back of the case, and we have it right there. It's much shinier on the, I don't want to reflect the light right into the camera, but it's much shinier on the inside than the outside. Obviously because of wear and what have you. Let me set that off to the side. And here we have the movement ticking away. That the piece that's actually moving, that you can see, rotating back and forth, is called the balance wheel. I wonder if we can get this close enough so you can hear the ticking and see it moving at the same time. We might be asking a bit much of our poor blue Yeti here, but hopefully some of it's getting across. Hopefully you guys are getting this. There's Aerotav. Aerotav. I hope I'm not butchering your username. Thanks for being here. Tyler Smith is a Science Channel, Smithsonian, History, etc. geek. Yeah, I'm right with you there, Tyler. But there it is. There's the 1916 little 11 joule guy. He's cool, like just a little meat and potatoes, daily wear kind of a watch. Very simple dial, no frills. Let's see. I think this thing is. Thought it had a crack in it. I think it's got a small crack up by the 11 and 12 that you're not going to be able to see there. You know, those dials are porcelain laid on top of a thin copper disc. And the porcelain is very brittle, so if the dials get removed for service or something like that, it does not take much to crack that porcelain if the copper disc gets bent at all. So you see dials on antique watches with cracks in them all the time. Jay Stairs, we're reading more information about his new channel, and everybody here in the chat should go check out Jay Stairs' ASMR page, by the way. Aerotab, I got the name right. Awesome, thank you. Jay Stairs has been doing this about 3 weeks, gotten most feedback, sleep consultant, role play. General responses that I have a vibe of intense, serious, hardened yet somehow caring. Mild Asperger's. I'm with you there, Jay. I get you. Laney Lane wants to know if I clean or polish your pocket watches. If so, that would be a good video. I don't, actually, since I don't wear them. Certainly not the big old ones. I never really run them, so there's not, you know, they either stay under display globes or they're in little velvet bags in a closed box, so they don't really ever go through any kind of wear. But you're right, it might make a nice handling kind of a video to maybe wipe them down or something like that. A lot of deliberate hand motions and things like that. That could be nice. I don't think I've Supernova. You talk about relaxing ASMR's video about using a bullet to make sound with. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one. And he's got a really big back catalog. I haven't even come close to getting down through all that yet. Because the sad part is, frankly, I don't have gobs and gobs of time to spend on consuming ASMR. So I don't make it through some of my favorites as quickly as I would like. Yep, love that sound. Are you guys seeing any, seeing or hearing any stream problems tonight? Is it holding together? I'm still getting a green on the streaming software, but I kind of don't trust it because it's been flaky lately. Hey, I'm all about attaching firearms to huge robots. Luca Trupa is not a guy. That is actually super cool. I appreciate knowing that. And forgive me if I used the wrong pronoun as well. But if you saw my statistics for how many of my viewers are male versus female, you would understand why I may lazily just use the masculine pronoun for everything, because I'm afraid we have a overwhelmingly male audience here at Gaslamp ASMR. Although I love it when anybody pipes up with great feedback on the channel. So anyway, Supernova, there's our pocket watch for the evening. Hope you dug it. So I'm only lagging by about 15 seconds, hate monger. I know there's always some lag, but I've seen it as long as 30 seconds before. So if it's only 15 seconds, that's nice. And you say you've been streaming. I thought I looked. Do you do something about writing? Or I apologize, hate monger. I thought you had something about writing oriented content on your channel. Is that right? How's this ticking? This is that cool? Exploring with ASMR is in the chat. Hey there, Jared. What is the good word, man? We're just wrapping up a little time with this pocket watch here per Supernova's request. Favorite book and favorite author, Hate Monger asks. I think I did a chunk, so I don't blame you if you haven't watched my 1 year Q&A video, because it's very long. But I think I did put a section in there about books and authors, and I've got timestamps on that so you can find it easily. But I wish I was able to spend a little more time with the way my life is structured right now, for reading, because I do enjoy it a lot. But I can't seem to make as much time for it as I would like at times of day where I'm really awake enough to read. But I cited 3 or 4 things in that video, and I apologize that I can't do a good job of bringing them to mind right now. I know Andrew Chaikin, who wrote the book that the HBO series the Apollo series, the 12-episode Apollo thing, From the Earth to the Moon. He wrote the book that series was based on. I like his work a lot. Sorry, I'm don't think I'm going to be able to give my brain's going blank on that right now. So you can tell that I'm not, I don't have a lot of good literature at the forefront of my mind right now, unfortunately. I probably need to do that more because it's good for the brain, and I need more things that are good for the brain. But hopefully you guys remember these guys. These are the silver dollars from the Coins and Engravers video. Let's see if we can get the piece dollars in one hand and the Morgans in the other. How about that? And I won't test anybody to see if they can tell me which engravers worked on which coins. I shouldn't put tests at the after my videos, should I? That'd be bad. There's another Morgan. Here we go. 2 Morgans and 2 piece dollars. Here we go. Something about these broad, flat discs of 90% silver. Hey, thanks for that, Jared. Yeah, the 2K has been a long time coming, 16 months or so. I had a feeling that it was going to be the third map video that was going to kind of push us over over that next threshold. Lukatroopa says, I don't even know what pre-Euro coins from around here look like off the top of my head. I know I've got some, my mom was born in Germany, and I've got some pre-Euro German coinage here at the house someplace. I like the fact that all the pre-Euro coinage, every country kind of had its own identity in its coinage. Thought that was really cool. Jared is almost at 1,000 himself. Well, Jared, I will tell you, not that it's a race or a competition, because I don't think it is, but you got to 1,000 a lot faster than I did, so congratulations to you. You definitely have upload frequency working in your favor, because the YouTube math definitely favors channels who get videos up a little more often than I do. Yeah, I don't know if it comes across in a setting like this or not, but when you hold coins like this in your hand and just jingle them around, there's most definitely these metals just don't sound the same as modern metals. Lukatrupa is one country west from Germany. So I'll let you all figure out what that is. Hatemonger is curious about what the next video would be. I alluded to it at the top of the session. It is going to be a nostalgic, rummaging, sorting video where I am sorting my old army men from when I was a kid and talking about kind of memories of playing with my brother and growing up with him. At least that's the loose concept right now of what I've got in mind. I definitely wanted to do something next that had a decidedly nostalgic bent to it. And when I say that, I mean, I think you could very, very broadly separate the videos that I do into a couple of categories once you throw out the trigger videos. I mean, you've got the ones that are more historical with their emphasis, and you've got the ones that are more nostalgic. And I like both, but the more nostalgic videos definitely produce a different the tone of the comment sections in the nostalgia videos are my favorites. They really are the essence of what I'm trying to do with this channel and what I'm trying to do with the whole experience of going through this content and sifting down through the comments and joining in those discussions. The nostalgic videos definitely do that the best, in my opinion. And I really like the way. I'm reasonably happy with the way the last two videos came out, but they're most definitely more historical in nature, and so I want to get some back to something more more nostalgic. Trying to catch up with the chat. I'm sorry. Bonsai Buddy asks, do I ever have the urge to rock the calculator watch again? The Casio calculator watch. Don't tempt me, man. Joan Whitaker, thank you so much for being here tonight. The calculator watch. Do you ever have, so everybody remembers things for different reasons, and I'll be the first to confess that I have a horrible memory. The only things that I seem to be able to remember from my childhood are things that either had a really positive emotional aspect to them or a very negative emotional aspect to them. It's as if emotion is the glue that keeps something stuck in your head. And the stuff that was just kind of normal, day-to-day, living life type stuff, I remember so little of that. But I bring this up because I still remember the Christmas that I opened up that Casio calculator watch. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I thought that was just the best thing ever. What? All this calculating power right on my wrist? Are you kidding me right now? Oh gosh. And when I think back now about how I must have looked with, you know, the kind of glasses that I was no doubt wearing back in those days, just looking for excuses to work out math problems on the calculator on my wrist. All I can say is I'm glad my son is a lot more smooth and a lot more outgoing than I was. And, you know, he's a nerd too, so I mean he would argue that he's not smooth at all. And you know, there's some you know, he would argue there's some issues there with making friends and stuff like that, and I totally get that, but he is so many miles ahead of where I was, so I'm very proud of him. Most of Lukatrupa's early memories center around inanimate objects. That's interesting. Not interpersonal reactions or interactions so much. Gaslamp was definitely the cool kid in middle school. Oh gosh. No. Like the bag I had in preschool or the fence I broke someone's nose up against in elementary. Wow. There's clearly a story there. Yeah, I'm sure you're right, Hatemonger. Although I gotta say, I wish that wasn't as true as it is, because sometimes it seems to me that just huge chunks of my growing up I just can't access anymore, and I don't like that. I just wish I could remember more about my formative years, but so much of it is a blur. And my wife seems to be able to just recall amazing small details from her childhood and even our adult life together, and I'm always like, how do you remember that stuff? Lukatrupa says, there's not much of a story beyond I broke someone's nose up against a fence in elementary. Well, so you may or may not be right, and it completely depends on whether that was intentional or unintentional. Oh, goodness. Hatemonger, when you say that's why you try to log as much of your adolescence as possible, what do you mean by log? Are you talking about like like writing, like a diary type of an experience. Is that what you're saying? Kid was getting on Lukatrupa's nerves. Well, now we know. Supernova's grandparents were Holocaust survivors. Died before I was 10. Wish I had learned more about their experiences. Wow. Your grandparents, huh? Yeah, I feel the same way. My mom, like I mentioned in the last video, my mom was born in Germany, and we lost her 5 years ago, and I absolutely wish that I had asked more questions, that I had paid more attention, that I just knew more personally about kind of her story and her path and the building blocks of her life. Because, think of this. My mom was born in Germany in the year 1936, which means she would have been a girl in Germany during the Second World War. But I don't remember a single time asking her about any memories that she might have about that experience. And that seems like such a missed opportunity now. I mean, why didn't I do that? You know what I mean? And my dad's still with us, but, he's in his 80s, and we don't talk as much as we should, and, well, anyway. Don't want to get too far down that path. Hate monger's great grandmother, teenager in Japan during World War II. Different part of the country than Fat Man and Little Boy. Well, I would guess she was. Lukatrupa, most of my grandparents didn't exactly experience work, kind of being quite young at that time. Great uncle evaded military service by living under a mill. Wow. Bonsai Buddy asks if I'm going to be the next Santa Claus if necessary. Is that a beard reference, man? Actually, with some of my current frustrations with my job situation, that might actually be a step up. It will certainly be a little more universally appreciated than I have been lately. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's 20 after 10 already. One of Hatemonger's other greats served in World War II, invaded D-Day with the Allies. Corporal in the Army. I hope you guys have seen these keys before. The first trigger video I ever attempted featured these keys. It was the 5th video I did. And it's still one of my favorites. So let me say, guys, just because some of you in prior streams have noticed, I don't want to spend, a lot of time on this, but just as an FYI for you regulars, one of the things that one of the curveballs that we had to deal with, fairly recently, is that we had to say goodbye to our doggy, who you have seen occasionally on this stream in the background. And that was a very unfortunate situation with some cascading health issues related to age, and things happened kind of quickly after we got back from Kentucky in October. So, and it kind of hit me again a little bit just yesterday, because I was looking at the archive file for that last stream in August, because I was trying to remember how long it's been, and I had to let him out and back in during that stream, so he's right there in the video. But he was a good guy. But I know people have commented on past streams that they want to see more of the doggy in the stream, so that's what's up with that. So I appreciate your comments. But just wanted to let you know, and that's all we need to, just an FYI. But for the Hatemonger, so after that, after the Army Men video, I think I'm finally going to attempt the I don't know what to call it, the video where I try to kind of do work with the balance scale and the pharmaceutical props, and try to put together a like a 1926 pharmacy student kind of a trigger video, kind of a hand movement manipulation type video where I work with the scale and measure things out and follow some of the illustrated instructions in the old pharmacy textbook that I have. It's kind of the video that I wanted to do as a follow-up to this keys video, actually, because I was trying to figure out another topic that I could do, that I could use those boards for, that make it look like those boards in this keys video make the video look like it might have been, that it might have taken place, on an old workbench 100 years ago, And I was looking for a way to revisit those. And a year and a half later, I think I've finally got the pieces put together, and that's going to generate a few bonus videos too. So I think I'm going to do a ton of bonus videos over Christmas break coming up, so hopefully we'll be able to beef that up soon. Hopefully these keys are coming across. Yeah, Hate Monger, I hope you like it. I hope it doesn't turn out to be one of those videos that was a lot better in my head than how it turns out in real life. That happens a lot. I may even do it in black and white. So how many... Gosh, I can't believe an hour and a half has gone by already. You guys, you make these things so enjoyable, and the time really flies. Do we have any superhero movie type fans in the chat room right now? Because if we do, I want to get people's opinion on that Avengers Infinity War trailer that came out recently. Jared, that happens a lot for you too. You the ideas sound better to you before you shoot them than they actually turn out. I can't believe that. Your videos are, I think, very consistent in their quality. Well, that's true, Supernova. We got that new Star Wars coming up. Is it bad of me to say that on that new Star Wars that I hope it's better than the last one? And I don't mean, I'm not talking about Rogue One. I'm talking about the one before that. The less popular superhero comic books. Gotcha. I don't know a lot of that source material directly myself, but I know what you're talking about. Force Awakens, yeah. It's not that I did not like Force Awakens. I'm certainly not saying that. I actually like, I'm also the guy who likes, J.J. Abrams' reboot of the Star Trek film franchise too. So I like what he did with it, just in terms of a movie. But I couldn't help thinking when all the dust settles that it was a thematic copy of the very first movie in 1977. And I guess I was just expecting a a generally more original concept or storyline than what we ended up getting there. Yeah, it was very much a New Hope clone. It was like the New Hope. So I hope, so I hope this month's movie isn't a new Empire Strikes Back clone. And so for that reason, I guess for that reason alone, I really appreciated the Rogue One story, because I thought it was really cool to take a very small facet, a very small reference from A New Hope, and flesh out the backstory and turn it into a whole movie on its own. And I also very much appreciated the fact that, nearly everybody died at the end of that movie. That were the main characters from the movie, because frankly we don't see that enough. Yeah, Supernova talking about seeing creators that do 4, 5, 6, 7 takes to get it right. Applaud the dedication. Yep, I do too. I applaud the dedication, because to do the kind of content that requires, that kind of concept and consistency and execution is always impressive to me. And part of my admiration for that is that kind of content is so opposite of what I do, right? And I knew that the only way that, I would be able to play in this sandbox at all is that it had to be really straightforward and natural and conversational, and frankly, it had to be fairly streamlined from a post-production standpoint, meaning if I had to edit for 5 hours to get, a half-hour piece of content up on the channel, that just wasn't going to be sustainable for me. So I definitely admire these folks who put that kind of repetition, if needed, and post-production, if needed, into their content. But it's the other side of the world from the. I mean, my editing consists of taking the coughs and the throat clearing out, and in the worst case scenario, if I forget to say something and then I put it at the very end, and I splice that back into the part of the conversation where it should have been. I mean, that's pretty much it. And that probably, you compare that to what the high concept folks are doing. It might sound pretty lazy, but it's what I feel I need to capture the kind of conversational ambiance that I'm trying to do. It's I think what this kind of content requires and demands. But it's also all I could, I couldn't do more than that and continue with the channel. I just don't have the bandwidth. It's Danny Euro. Hope I'm not butchering your last name, Danny. Are you asking what microphone I use in my regular content on my channel? Or are you asking about this microphone in the live stream? You probably recognize this one because this is just the good old Yeti made by Blue Microphones. You see it all over the place. For the equipment that I use in my regular content, I've got an ASMR setup video that I did for my 500 subscriber celebration, and I go into a lot of detail there about the old equipment that I use. Everything I use is very old stuff from the early 90s that I got from being in bands. So you can see all the detail that you want there, but I use a pair of microphones for my regular content, and they are old vocal microphone clones of SM58s. They're made by a company called VTech, and they are the VT1040s, and they are a cheap old generic vocal mic. That's all they are. And you can even still buy those mics, and it's a $25 mic. I mean, it's as low rent as you can get. Thanks, Lukatrupa. It's been nice meeting you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate the compliment, Danny. Thanks for being here. Seems like everybody has the Yeti now. And you're right about that, although not everybody uses it well. But that's a topic for a separate behind-the-scenes video, right? Hatemonger asks, would you ever make a non-ASMR video? Well, to be fair, I don't count any of the videos on my bonus video playlist as ASMR videos. All that behind-the-scenes stuff, I just kind of casually chat about stuff. Thanks, Danny. I appreciate it. I'll be honest, sometimes I wonder, I mean, putting ASMR in the title of this channel always seemed like it made the most sense. The inspiration for this channel came from ASMR channels that I was watching at the time. But, sometimes I wonder if some of these topics aren't more generally, or could be more generally thought of as rambles or vlogs or something like that. Sometimes I wonder if it would be better or worse for the channel if it was called something like Gaslamp Rambles or something like that, You never know what kind of, as ASMR, as a concept or as a term gets more and more recognized or known in the public, it's hard to anticipate what sort of impression or reputation or connotation is going to be attached to it. Sometimes when I read comment after comment on places like Twitter about ASMR demonetization, I just wonder if, Just wonder if that's a better long-term association or not. So yeah, I don't know. So I don't know that a non-ASMR video would look, I don't know how different or the same that would look from, you know, the stuff I'm already doing, frankly. I'm just having conversations, you know, and talking about interesting things. So Jared, you say you have to get pretty much every video reviewed. I guess if there is an advantage to not monetizing the channel in the first place, like in my case, it's that I don't have to, I don't know, don't have to deal with bots and algorithms deciding that the content isn't advertiser appropriate or whatever. Yep, like those keys. I don't even know if this plastic and glass is going to be worth anything or not, but I just wanted to put something on here that wasn't metal and that would give a little hint of the next video. Yeah, I saw those bots, hate monger. It's a difficult thing to do with the tablet, but I never considered trying to get anybody to actually you know, be a mod for these chats, because I never figured the audience was big enough to really have any of that kind of stuff go down. Supernova thinks plastic and glass is a great sound. Good, good. Trevor Patton, thank you very much. You are a name I don't recognize yet, so thanks for stopping in. Other sci-fi shows, yeah. So Stargate, Babylon 5, Dune, Highlander. I always enjoyed Stargate and Babylon 5, although I never saw all of them. Was definitely huge into Highlander. I even had a you know, back when Highlander, the TV series, was really big, they were huge into merchandising. You can get all sorts of crazy merchandise through the mail, and I got a letter opener that was in the shape of Duncan MacLeod's katana. I had really long hair back then too, and another thing you could get from the Highlander catalogs were ponytail holders with, you know, Scottish-inspired designs on the metal part that were, you know, they can brand anything to be attached to a show. But yeah, I was big into Highlander, big into Ron Moore's reboot of Battlestar Galactica. I think that's some of the best damn sci-fi storytelling I've ever seen. So yeah, I'm wait a minute, Trevor. You can't come in here for the first time and claim that you have the same Highlander katana letter opener that I have. Are you serious with me right now? There's no way. I have not seen Mindhunter on Netflix. What's that about? You got a lot of the merchandise. So Trevor, did you get did you used to get the big merchandise catalogs in the mail? And the ones I'm particularly thinking of are the catalogs from the sword companies, right? That had page after page of all the various swords that they would make. I think Marteau was one of them, Marteau swords. All of the swords that they did for various TV shows. I love looking through those sword catalogs, man. More annoying than Gaius Baltar. Now there's a comparison for you. Trevor had the swords and knives. This is crazy. That is cool, Trevor. Yeah, I like all those katanas they had with the particular handles that matched, you know, the Highlander characters, and then you had the big two-handed swords with the kind of the blockier, ornate hilts on them and stuff. That stuff was awesome. I'm going to give us all a fair warning here, and I think we're going to wrap this up in about 11 minutes at the top of the hour, okay? And the Claymore. Absolutely, Trevor. And Hate Monger, if you're looking for more insight into the video schedule down the line, the first one in January, I think, is going to be a page-turning video using the old 1975 Star Trek or Starfleet technical manual. And the reason I'm doing that is because I meant to do a lot more finger on paper sounds in the third map video, and I started to do it right at the beginning of the video, and then it completely left my mind for the rest of the video. And I was talking to a few people who, you know, really responded to the first few minutes of fingers on paper, and I kind of felt bad about forgetting about it for the rest of the time. So first video in January, we're going to completely focus on that trigger, but we're going to be looking at that old the old Starfleet tech manual from 1975, the old Franz Joseph publication. Hey, Mighty the Great. Thanks for joining us. I'm sad to say we're going to be wrapping this up in about 10 minutes, but I appreciate you being here. And then after that, I'm not sure what I'm doing next. But who knows what I might talk about with the old tech manual in front of me. It's going to remind me of a lot of original series references, I think. And that's what growing up in grade school, I mean, that's the original series is pretty much what I watched, The local TV station ran one of those in the afternoons around 3:30 or something like that, so I could come home from school and watch an original series episode. Of course, back then, they were edited to death to put all the commercials in and stuff. Trevor, huge fan of you and relaxing ASMR. I love relaxing ASMR too. He's one of the best. Do you have a Patreon page? No, I do not. But I really appreciate that you put us in the same category, because relaxing ASMR does some amazing content, and he has a great demeanor about him. The energy, that vibe that he is able to maintain in his videos is one of the most compelling things. Hey there, +10. Yep, this is Gaslamp. How's it going? Jared, you have not been to Relaxing ASMR's channel? And I thought we understood each other. Yes, you have to do that immediately. I'm just messing with you. But yes, he's got great collections videos. He's got a lot of videos about fountain pens, with inking fountain pens. He knows a lot about the construction of fountain pens and the history of them. +10 says it says live streaming on his channel. You mean Relaxing ASMR's channel or mine? I don't think Relaxing has ever done a stream. That would be cool, though. I really appreciate you guys stopping by tonight. I know it's been a long time since we've done this, and I know this is kind of early for a lot of you, or late for a lot of you, but I felt it was really overdue, and I wanted to just get kind of reconnected. Yeah, you got to remember, Relaxing's been he's been doing this for upwards of 6 years. So he's had a long time to build up quite a library. He started out, his very first videos were because his wife got him a new iPhone, something like an iPhone 4 or whatever, and So he shot his first video on his iPhone, and he's been going ever since. So now that I'm kind of back in the swing of things a little bit, I will try to be a little more regular with these, and I'll also try to do a few more surprise streams, because I really like just popping on the microphone and the phone every once in a while unannounced and just kind of casting a net out there and seeing who's out there. I really like doing that. Oh wow, Lynn Cinnamon. Thank you so much for saying hi, Lynn. That is amazing. I appreciate the congratulations on the 2K. That's very nice of you to stop. We were getting, I was getting ready to actually close the stream for the night, but I'm glad to see you before we go. Thanks, Lynn. I really appreciate seeing all the new names in the chat, and hopefully if I can start doing this a little more regularly again, we can all, all of the new folks chatting with the old folks and get kind of the chat community reestablished a little bit. That's one of the big advantages I feel of having a smaller channel like this, is that we can, have these more intimate conversations where people can actually interact with each other and get to know each other a little bit. You can't do that with in the chats on really popular streams, because everything goes by too quickly. So as long as we're small, as long as I don't have that 200,000 subs that Mr. Hatemonger says I deserve, we might as well be taking advantage of that with nice, intimate little streams where we can get to know each other a little bit better, right? Although I can't say that I would mind getting, even a tenth of relaxing ASMR's subs to notice me, because I think there would be a lot of overlap between his crowd and mine. But hey, if I wanted his subs, I should have started 6 years ago, right? Okay, guys. This has been a weird couple of months, and even a weird day today, because there's just some stuff that went on. So I just wanted to tell you all that I appreciate your being here. This is exactly what I needed tonight, and I appreciate you helping me kind of put my day into a better context. I hope I've helped some of you do the same. $2,800 subscribers. That's cool, Hatemonger. And that's for... Did you answer my question earlier about... you had writing... Am I right about that? You have writing content on your channel? Both Lynn and Plus 10 like the bowl of Army Men. Next week's video is going to be a Army Man sorting video, and me talking about my brother and I when we were kids, and playing with Army Men. Supernova, I will definitely check out that video called Ink. You stream yourself writing a novel, Hatemonger. Well, that's very interesting. Oh, thanks, plus 10. I tell you, if you have two favorites and I'm one of them and relaxing ASMR is the other, then I really appreciate being in that company. That's an amazing compliment, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I'll shoot this next one next weekend, Lynn, so... Yeah, GB's fun. She's got a very natural kind of sincerity about her that I like. Yeah, Supernova. Can't forget about ASMR Vids. He's got a only slightly smaller channel than Relaxing ASMR does, but they I think they started within a month of each other. That's pretty cool, Hatemonger. Streaming the writing, that's pretty neat. Good for you. We can't forget the brush. Maybe a little brush tapping before we get out of here. Plus 10 thinks I should do a video with just the bowl of army men. Well, they usually live in a big cardboard box from an old Aurora model that I used to have. Wait till you see the box that they live in. I hope the Yeti is doing a good job on these subtle sounds. The small sounds are always my favorite, as you guys know. Any last thoughts from anybody tonight? If not, we'll be wrapping it up here in a couple minutes, okay? Do I have a way for you to donate to me? I really don't, Trevor. And I appreciate you asking. It's just never really been something I've been comfortable with. I don't know, it's not something I've really talked about that much, but I've never really felt comfortable with the whole donation kind of a thing. I mean, I acknowledge that it would come in handy for some, more modern gear or something. I do sometimes wonder what my voice would sound like through some newer microphones and stuff like that, but I guess, I've got a full-time job, and if that stuff was important enough, I should prioritize it and, save up and do it that way.
Oh, excuse me.
Test. Okay. Looks like everybody's going to bed around here. Some of us would be willing to help you pay for that stabilizer. Yeah, I agree, Trevor. Yeah, it is how relaxing ASMR has upgraded a lot of his equipment. But he's sitting at 60,000 subs, and I guess, from an economy of scale standpoint, if you're sitting on 60,000 subs, I think it's a little easier to kind of get your head around the notion of maybe asking for that, because then, you're casting a wider net, and you could get away with much smaller individual contributions, and then because of the large subscriber base, it adds up much more quickly. And the thought of asking a very small number of people for help with something like that, I don't know, just kind of, I've just never been able to kind of get, I don't know, I'm struggling to find the right words because it's a bit of a weird, sensitive subject with me, and I've never really talked about it before, so I don't know. So that's a long, stupid way of saying, no, I don't have a donation mechanism at the moment, but I really appreciate you asking. And Lynn says I'm putting you to sleep, so there's that. Yes, 5 cents each across 60,000 people absolutely adds up. You got that right. Okay, guys. This has been a lot of fun. Again, I can't believe it's been 3.5 months or whatever, but let's not, I promise I won't let that much time pass next time, okay? See if I can put this down without scaring everybody. And there we are. Okay, guys. Again, thanks so much for being here. It's been an absolute relaxing, chill pleasure for me to be with you. And I appreciate the effect that you're having on me with your comments and your fellowship here in the chat, and making it so that I'm not here talking to myself for a couple of hours. So, good night to Jared and Trevor and Lynn, Supernova, and Hatemonger, and all the people who've been here tonight. Supernova, thanks very much for the pocket watch request. Please feel free to make a request for next time. Oh, Lynn, you're very kind to say that. Thank you so much. Gosh, you're not too shabby yourself, Lynn. You've got a fantastic, understated style that I've always personally responded to. So, wonderful job with your own content as well. Okay, thanks everybody. I hope to see you all next time, and we can continue where we left off and see where it takes us. Okay. So you guys all have a wonderful evening and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you again soon, okay? Thanks everybody for your support. We'll talk to you later.